In the Plate Tectonics Lab, this is mostly a kind of virtual lab just because it's hard to do really heavy or like more complicated plate tectonics at home. There's some cool simulations you can try. I've seen one of my favorites is like with Oreo cookies that you can smash them together. But to get into some deeper questions here, it's more of a virtual lab, so I'm going to take you through what you need to do. So the first question is, what continent do you live on? And notice it's saying what continent, not what plate. Can you think of any ways the continent has changed over time? I just did a very simple our changing continent and looked it up, and there's all kinds of information here. Just so that you can calibrate and not go too long or too short in your answer, I wrote some hints here, like 1 to 2 sentences with 2 to 4 examples. The next thing that you're going to do is there's the Earthquakes Living Lab, and you're going to click on this, but I would actually go to this website or this link here, and it is going to take you to the Southern California box. There's no question right here that you need to complete, so you're going to move down to, oh, it says number 3. I will get that changed so it says 2. Number 2. So that on your paper it says number 2, so you're not thinking that you're missing a problem. Well, I'll mess with that later. There is no question for number 2. So you're going to compare the map of the world today and a map of the world 250 million years ago called Pangea. So this is the link to make that happen. As you watch the animation, record at least 3 examples of how it's changing. So the animation actually is this one, and it goes very quickly. It goes all the way from pre-Cambrian to the Cenozoic very quickly. So I hit the refresh button to watch it again because that's so fast that my brain takes a long time of seeing that a few times to think of 3 ways it's changed. So you can look that up other places, or you can keep hitting refresh and watching this simulation over and over and over again, and that's fine. Either way that you want to do it. But you're going to write down 3 examples of how the continents have changed their positions. On the next one, if the plates continued to move, what would it look like 250 million years from now? Now, since that's hard for somebody like me to imagine, I don't know necessarily where they're going to float, I actually looked up a YouTube link for you that I thought was pretty good. It is this one here. It is a 12-minute animation, and to speed that up, because this one is really slow, where the other one goes too fast, I moved to the playback speed here using the gearbox 2 times 2, so it goes twice as fast as usual. So then here it shows playing a lovely musical score in the background that is going too fast because you sped it up. But it will show the continents and how they change. And then it will start to get to, here's the tertiary period. And finally, this is in the future. So it doesn't take too long of watching it to see the whole thing, so you can see how it's going to change in the future, and you can sketch that here. The next part is navigate back to the Living Earthquakes Lab and look at what is the theory of plate tectonics and what is the what evidence supports it. So this is what those tabs look like. The question that goes along with those are, what might have caused the continents to move? And I put a hint. The answer to this question is just what's the name of that theory that we've been studying. For number 6, describe some important information related to this theory. And I said put 1 to 2 sentences with a total of 2 to 4 total pieces of evidence to describe the theory. You can use, of course, these. You could use your book as well. Number 7 is find and record evidence used to explain how continents have moved over time. Explore the following links, and I gave you some links to look at how they've changed. So you're going to write 1 to 2 total examples for each of these, and that's good enough. So 1 to 2 examples of seafloor spreading, of how fossils have supported the theory of plate tectonics, how earthquakes support that theory, and how volcanoes support that. For number 8, looking at the information you compiled on the chart, explain one way the theory of plate tectonics can relate to engineering. And I gave you a sentence hint here. And finally, in the early 1900s, Alfred Wegener proposed that the continents were drifting, and he was not supported. Using what you've learned in this activity, would you support Wegener's hypothesis or not? And then I gave you here to write 3 to 5 sentences that would explain your position with a total of 3 to 5 pieces of evidence. And, you know, that will be plenty. That is the entire lab, and then you can turn it in on Canvas. Thank you very much.